Hi, my name's Tom from Cochrane Car Estate Agents. For those that don't know, if this is the first video, we put out market updates for the Sheffield housing market, specifically looking at postcodes S10 and S11. Principles, if I'm honest, are probably going to be seen throughout the whole of the city. But if you did want to speak to me about a specific area, my contact details are at the end. So let's get right into the data. So what we're doing is we're comparing the first half of 2024, comparing to 23, 22, 6-year average, and then the second half of last year. So first thing we look at is properties for sale and new listings. So we can see that there's more properties for sale compared to previous years against the average. And obviously this is reflected because of the increase in new listings. So it's great to see there's confidence in the market. There's plenty of sellers coming to the market. So are the buyers out there as well? And the answer is yes. So sales agreed are significantly up from the second half of this year. Compared to that first half of last year, big jump as well. If you still remember the famous or infamous Liz Truss budget, then we were still feeling the effects of that in the start of last year as well. So overall, but probably a good one to look at is that first half of 2022. So with the Liz Truss haven't wreaked havoc yet, and we've sold more houses in the first half of this year compared to 2022. So there are buyers out there. That is a big thing. There's definitely buyers out there. Now, this is where it's then just making sure that because of mortgage rates, we'll go into it shortly, buyers need to see value for money. That doesn't mean it has to be cheap. It's just if your property's on at 50 grand more than a similar property down the road, then they'll look at it and go, right, what am I getting for 50 grand? And if they can't see it, either in the sense that your property's bigger, the finish is significantly higher, it's got a bigger garden, there's more parking, very much factual things. Then if buyers don't see that, then they just won't be interested. They won't book viewings, or they'll offer poor offers. So you've just got to make sure that your house can be on at a more expensive price than a property around the corner, but there's got to be a reason for it. Can't just be because it's your home. You've got to remember, you've got to probably take a lot of emotion out of it when you're pricing a property and just look at very, very factual things. So the knock-on effect is we've seen a significant jump up in price changes. Obviously, these are going to be price reductions, essentially. It's very rare that a property will go up in an asking price. But that price reduction is significantly higher than the 6-year average, similar to the second half of last year as well. And it's a big jump up from that first half of 2023. Fall throughs, this kind of again comes to where there are buyers out there, but they're sensitive essentially because of costs. Is the fall throughs are similar to the end of last year, higher than the 6-year average. So if the deal isn't right for a buyer, they just simply won't buy the property. It's that fine balance of making sure you're getting the most for your property, but the buyers have also got to be satisfied. They don't have to be jumping for joy. They've just got to be satisfied with the price that they're paying for that property. So, and then at the end, we've got withdrawals. So withdrawals are actually down from the second half of last year, similar to the first half of this year. So hopefully that's just, we're seeing that more sellers are willing to reduce their sale asking price rather than take their property off the market as well. So this is kind of the things when we're talking about the sale agreed figures, the sales agreed for the first half of this year are similar to that 6-year average and similar to the first half of 2022. This is the bit where you've got to look at that the Bank of England base rate was an average of 0.6% during 2019 and 2022, whereas first half of this year it's 5.25. So that is just buyers are still buying properties, which shows that they have adjusted to these higher mortgage rates as well. When I say higher, depends on how far you zoom out. If you zoom out 50 years, these aren't high interest rates. They're probably around average. They are just higher than the ridiculously low rates that we had for a period of time, and we just got too used to. Those ridiculously low rates aren't coming anytime soon. The CEO of Lloyd's saying that they're expecting rates to be somewhere around the new normal will be between 3.5 and 4.5. So anyone sat there waiting to buy and they're waiting for interest rates to drop down to where they were 3 years ago, it isn't going to happen. So you could be waiting a while. In that meantime, prices will have probably nudged up as well, and so you'll be getting less for the money that you've got as well. Well, obviously, if you weren't aware, there was an election. Usually during elections, we see that the housing market goes quiet as people want to wait and see who's going to be running the country, what changes they're going to make. We just didn't see it this time. I think because it was highly likely, everyone knew that Labour were going to win. I think even the Tories knew that Labour were going to win. And also Labour weren't really proposing anything radical when it comes to stamp duty changes, anything that was significantly in effect, whether a buyer will buy or a seller will sell. They've mainly gone down the route of recognising that they just need to build homes, which, if they do it, will be unbelievable. It would be fantastic. It's a massive problem that we have in the housing market. Also, properties withdrawing from the market during the election, we didn't see. Fall-throughs were stable, and there was an increase in number of sellers returning to that market. So essentially, during the election, everything kind of carried on as normal. This is the bit where, again, it's kind of shown that we're in a nice market. Mortgage approvals now have stayed steady or increased for 7 months in a row. Property transactions are the same, or they've gone up for 5 months in a row. We've got Bank of England base rate announcement this week, which I think there's quite a few expecting for the base rate to come down. At worst, it will stay the same. And it's stayed the same for the last 7 meetings that they've had. And there's not been a vote for an increase for 3 meetings now. So we're just seeing a lot of stability. And then inflation has been at its lowest point since July 2021 and has dropped 3 months in a row. So the market is good. It is just making sure that you're pricing your properties correctly. If you do that, it's very simple. If you put together a fantastic marketing package in terms of your photos, floor plan, a video, because Rightmove tell us if you have a video on a property, you will increase the interest by 8%. So photos, floor plan, video, and it's priced at the right price, then you won't have a problem. Some people adopt a strategy which is, well, we can always chuck it on at this price, and if you don't get the interest, we can drop down to this price. When you do a price reduction, the main thing is always to remember is that your property that's been reduced is 1.35 times less likely to sell. It will also, if it sells, it will take 3 times longer to sell. And once the sale is agreed, that sale is twice as likely to fall through. So avoid price reductions at all costs and just try and nail your asking price when it first goes on the market. Now, of course, I really want to sing the praises of our team at Cochrane Carr. This is just some of the data. So this is from properties that have exchanged in 2024. Average number of days to find a buyer for us has been just over 28. On those properties, we've booked an average of just under 15, and we've taken an average number of offers, which is 6.4 per property. All of that culminates in, at the moment, on those sales, was that the sales figure was 3.4% above the asking price. So if you just do it right, it's not complicated. If you just do it right, you get fantastic results. And one of the main things there on number of offers, the main thing that gives our clients is choice of who they sell to. Pick the right buyer for you, because that probably comes through to the fall throughs as well. If you only get one offer because your price is wrong, then what happens if that offer, there's just something not quite that you'd want? Either it might be a buyer that's pushing for you to be out quickly and you've still got to find somewhere. So my gut feeling is that's why you tend to have a higher fall through rate and properties reduced, because reduced properties will also get less number of offers. So you end up having to take the offer because it's all that you've got. But I just wanted to make sure that, yeah, that's the fantastic work of all the team at Cochrane Carr. In terms of, if there's want to send me a message, if they want me to have a look at your property, if you're thinking about moving, here's all my contact details. Feel free to give me a call, drop me a WhatsApp, send me a text, send me an email, whatever. Just get in touch. Thank you.